explain a little bit about what mediation is and how we can use it to help resolve the issue you guys are in. I understand that you're both really sensitive and you love your children really much, very much, and I want to help be an advocate for both of you individually as well as for the solution that we'll come to together. As a mediator, I'm confidential, so when we meet one-on-one, anything you share with me, I am not allowed to say to the other party. And yeah, so we're going to kind of start out by me introducing myself. My name's Sam, and what are your names? And give me a little bit of information about what you would like out of this situation. So, would you like to go first?
Yes, my name is Lois. I am a mother, and I would like to. I want to initiate this divorce because my husband has taken on a workload that I find has hindered his parenting, and he's been basically absent from this parenting relationship. So I propose with this divorce that he pays child support, and in order to allow me to stay with the kids at home and be their mother, because our son John has a learning setback, and our kids are entering their teens. They're involved with lots of extracurricular activities, and I've been the primary caregiver. I take them to school, from school, cook their dinner, take care of them in that way while my husband's been away. So I find that this transition into that role would be harder than he thinks. So I propose that I remain in that role. I would also like to keep the house that we're in, so as to spare the kids from making a dramatic change in their life other than the divorce. And that is my proposition.
Okay. Thank you, Lois. Larry, what about your side of this?
I'm Larry. I am the husband in this marriage. It is true that I have had a very busy work schedule since finishing school and joining this small law firm. However, I hope to be a partner, which means that my time commitments will diminish a lot. So my goal in this whole thing, or my idea, I guess, is to liquidate our assets and split them evenly between the two of us, because we both put equal money into our future. I propose to have custody and then support the children for 2 years while you go back to school and to learn how to support yourself and get your teaching degree again. And then once those 2 years are over, then split the child care costs with you. Also, if we do get a divorce, I want to see the kids every weekend.
Well, thanks for sharing both of your sides. I'm going to meet with Lois first individually, and we'll come get you when you're done. So if you want to go right out there, thank you. Well, Lois, I can see you've been through a lot with the situation, and I really respect the way you've kept your composure and the way that you're standing up for your children. Is there anything else that you want me to know about the situation? How has it been for you? Has it been difficult?
Yeah, it's been very difficult. I mean, when I came into this marriage and first had our children, Larry was not in the same point in his career as he is now. And, I was a teacher, and now I'm not. And now I feel like my full-time job is being my kid's parent, a mother. And, but on top of that, I feel like not only am I just a regular mother, John has learning disabilities where he is reading at a 7-year-old level and he's 9. And my teaching past and degree has helped me to work with him and get him past this obstacle, but the doctors have said that there is a chance that it could come back. And I mean, I work with him on every assignment, and I feel that if I'm forced to spend less time with him, and then his, problem comes back, it'll be because of me, and then how do we get it under control again when, without spending money or something. So that's another thing.
Have you thought about the possibility of, since your children are getting older, especially Carrie now that she's a teenager, have you thought about the possibility of going back to work?
I have, and I think that just what's kept me back is feeling like I'm the only parent there for my kids. Transportation and stuff, like Carrie can't drive yet, and we've got one car because my husband takes public transportation, which is fine, but our kids, want to do sports, they want to do extracurricular things, and so, without the ability to drive, I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, let's brainstorm for a little bit. If you did go back to school, do you think the possibility of having maybe a nanny or something around the house could alleviate some of the stress on you in terms of transportation for your kids?
Potentially, but our kids, want to do sports, they want to do extracurricular things, and so, without the ability to drive, I don't know what we're going to do. So my husband has a salary that's 6 figures, and I think that with his child support, we could afford a nanny or extra help in some way. With that, it's like, with his time with the kids, I have it so limited as like evening, and it's like, well, and it would be very helpful if he had a car.
So, are you really set on getting a divorce?
I've thought about it, and it's heartbreaking to think about our marriage at this point, but now it's all about the kids for me, and because I don't really spend a lot of time with Larry anymore, and I don't think I can believe him, or that it's possible for him to completely promise that he is going to be different because he's becoming a partner. And it's like, yeah, maybe you'll have more time, but since you've never been a partner, you can't make definite promises. And so with this, I want to give my kids a stable life. And so I feel with this divorce, I can protect them from these fluxes in our marriage, and just between us, I'm not in love with him anymore. And so this relationship has, lost all romantic meaning for me. And right now it's just about the kids. I mean, I've met someone, and I'm not saying that that's like my only motive for this, and I don't want you to tell Tony because I haven't told anyone. I don't want you to tell Larry about Tony because I haven't told anyone. And but yeah, that's just another reason on top of like taking care of my kids with a man I don't love.
I understand.
So.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I won't share that with Larry. The idea that Larry proposed of liquidating all of your assets together, including the car and the house, and splitting it halfway. That also included the kids living with him for 2 years, and then him paying all of their expenses and also assisting you in becoming more independent so that you could have split time with the kids. Do you think that that is feasible at all? Have you considered that, or?
I have, but I just don't trust Larry's ability to take care of these kids for 2 years because, like I said, it's just too big of a risk. I do think that if we liquidated everything, we would have enough money, but that's taking all, that's only like the monetary value of the things, we have sentimental value, and also like for our kids to move, Larry and I would be, yeah,
Okay.
I should keep the house. And Larry with his new job, I feel like he can afford a new place. And we can split that cost. But for those 2 years, I would rather, instead of going back to school and doing all that stuff while he takes the kids solely, I would like to share that time.
So how about if I propose to Larry that you're interested in, you do like the idea of splitting the cost of his new living arrangement so that the children can stay in your home. So splitting that with him.
And I can take on we split the mortgage of the house and his new place, those living expenses.
Okay. Okay, and then you also like the idea of, you're not completely against the idea of him spending time with the children a little bit more than usual while you reacclimate to this new living situation with him. So what about if he spent every other week, or the kids spent every weekend with him for maybe half a year to a year while you got your certification, so you could go to school maybe on the weekends when you don't have to worry about the kids?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. I think it's time for us to switch. I'll bring Larry back in and I'll talk to him about what you've proposed to me about the mortgage and splitting the money. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what he has to say, and then we'll come back in a second.
Okay, thank you.
So now, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about how you're feeling about this. How has this been for you so far?
It's been really hard. I know that I've worked a lot these past 4 years and not been able to spend the time that I want to spend with Lois and my 2 children. But it has also been really important for me to build my career. I make 6 figures, so I'm able to support my family really well. And it's been hard, just being proposed to divorce.
I'm sorry, that must be really difficult. I was talking to Lois about a little bit of some of the solutions she's offered. If you're willing, I'd like to share those with you.
Mm-hmm.
So she said that I could tell you that she is really set on the idea of keeping the house. That's definitely one of her #1 things. She feels that it's in the best interest of John and Carrie to not be switched in their home environment right when they're about to go into high school and make friends and stuff. So how are you feeling about that?
Well, I guess even just going back, I know that she was the one who proposed the divorce. I think divorce feels like a hard slap on my head, and I just, I thought I was doing what was right for the family by working and building my career, but it's evident now that that was not working with her, and I've hurt her a lot, and I want to change the way that I am a husband and am a father. I'm really hoping that Lois can somehow change her mind and want to stay married, and my hope is that you can help me propose that to her and convince her to stay in the marriage.
About the house, would you be willing to let Lois stay in the house?
My ideal is to liquidate the assets because we both contributed equally to it, and through the mortgage and through buying it. I don't think it's super fair for me to totally support her when we get divorced and have to do childcare and then pay for the house. I think she is nervous about, or insecure almost, about going back to work after being a stay-at-home mom for so long, and that's probably maybe some of the reasons why she wants to have the house and household custody of the kids and have me support. I am willing, I suppose, to have her stay in the house as long as we can work out something else where I am not the sole supporter of her and the kids after if we do get a divorce.
Okay. And then she made it really clear to me that she doesn't feel comfortable at all with you having sole custody for the first 2 years after a divorce proceeding, if it does happen, just simply because she's let me know that the extent of John's disability has gotten pretty bad, and doctors have told her that it's a possibility that his mental learning disability could continue to develop and hurt his schooling, and she feels that her experience as a teacher helps with that in the home. So I was just wondering how you feel about that, and if you were aware
So yes, I have been aware that that's how he's been doing, but I do admit too that I have not been very present and very supportive. And so it makes sense why she has concerns about that. I'm willing to negotiate the custody of our children while she is going back to school. Maybe not having full custody, but of the children, but not her having full custody either.
She did tell me that she was okay with you having the kids on the weekends.
Every weekend?
Yes, every weekend.
Oh, wonderful. That's one of the things, if we do get divorced, that's what I would have liked to propose. So that's great that she has already agreed to that.
She also told me that she's willing, if we do the split, she said she was willing to have, to split not only the cost of the rest of the mortgage, but also any of your own living expenses if you find your own place and other things like that. And the other outstanding debts like the car payments.
That's fair. Yeah, split it halfway.
But she would still have the house. It would be the remainder expenses of the mortgage and the car and your living expenses.
Right. As long as I have somewhere to live and the house is paid off. I don't have. I mean, that's not my ideal situation, but this is a negotiation, so we both have to make compromises.
Well, thank you for being flexible. So if I propose to Lois that you agree, or that you're okay with seeing the kids every week, that would be something that would start immediately every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That would start right after the divorce, and then paying for the rest of the house, and the other expenses would be split between the two of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Which you would cover by the
Yes,
cost of
she would
my
cover
living
it,
expenses.
Okay. Is there anything else, or should I go get her really quick?
You can go get her.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, Lois. Thank you so much for your patience again. I was talking with Larry, and he made it very clearly that divorce is not something he's considered to be an option for the situation. He really wants to fix the marriage, and he wanted me to bring that up with you just to see what your thoughts were on that again. And I know that you disclosed to me about your new relationship, and even though you said that that doesn't hinder you from, that's not like your main reason for wanting a divorce, but it is going to be a major factor when I do, or if I do bring it up with Larry. I've done cases like this before, and usually if the wife has found another relationship before divorce proceedings have happened, the husband gets pretty terribly upset. And in those situations, I've seen that the best option would be maybe you stepping it up a little bit with compensation for him.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about all that? I know it's a lot of information.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Especially if Larry really doesn't want to get divorced, this news of my relationship would just completely upset him, and he's, I don't want to do that. So I expressed concern with being a teacher and paying for all of this, but my parents have actually offered to help me with any financial needs. And I guess with their help, I'm prepared to step up. I didn't mention it before because I'm not too proud of taking that money, but it's my family's important to me. And so,
So what do you think some possible solutions that this new finance option opens up for this?
well, I guess with the mortgage, we can pay that off. This isn't my money, but they did say that they could help me to an extent. So with the mortgage, we could take that on now because I want to keep it and he doesn't. I think that I could pay off the car as well, but I think that with his new living situation, since I'm taking on the entire mortgage, I still don't want to pay fully for his. No, I don't want my parents to be taken advantage of. So I would split it and keep it because it's,
So you'll take the
I'll
outstanding debt?
Yes,
for it?
I'll take the outstanding debt as long as I get the car. And, because if I have the kids during the week, I'll still be taking them to school and from school and everything, and then we can have them on the weekend.
Could you also possibly agree to promising that you'll get your teaching certification again? Because Larry was pretty adamant about wanting you to
Yes,
take that too.
I definitely will do that. That's
Just so
what-
that he knows the kids will be taken care of in addition to your parents.
So he's getting the kids on the weekends. I will take classes on the weekends. Yeah.
And then, do I tell him about Tony or no? Because when we do these types of mediations, it's important to look long term.
Yeah.
And if it comes up later on, it could really blow up all the progress we've made.
So yes, you can tell him about Tony, but only as the point in order to convince him that there's no romantic, that's why I can't stay married to him, but I want to be a parent with him.
Okay.
So,
I'll go get him
okay.
and we'll see how this goes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Larry, welcome back. During the time I spent with Lois, one of the first things I think that's important to discuss is that she told me no matter what, she's not going to budge on getting a divorce as a part of this.
Did she give any reasons why?
She did. She told me that she really thinks that the toll of you building up your career took on your relationship really kind of drained the romance out of it. And she still loves you and she wants to be a parent with you, but she also is seeing someone else.
What? She's having an affair?
In some terms, it could be an affair. She doesn't feel that it is because you haven't been around for so long. And it's relatively new, and she also informed me that it's not the reason why she wants a divorce, but it just proves evidence to just the toll that your relationship's been under. I'm sorry.
Hard news to digest.
I'm sure it is.
What else was discussed between you two besides her affair?
Well, she does feel really bad about it, and she doesn't want to lie to you. But she also preferred that I share it with you first. It is a really touchy issue. And she also said that her parents actually kind of have come out of the woodwork with this, and they're willing to take on some of the financial negotiations. So basically what her proposal was that you get every weekend with the kids forever, and that's from Friday night till Sunday night. So good weekend chunk. And then her parents will pay the mortgage on the house so that she could keep it. And your name won't have to be in any of those legal documents so that any possible debt wouldn't be associated to you. As well as the car, that $10,000 in debt, she said her parents will pay for it and take on as well. And she feels that since those two things were the big ones, she's not so sure about possibly helping you make your own living expenses to start out with getting your own place. So, how do you feel about that?
I think now that this new information has come into light about her cheating on me, that her taking more of the financial burden is more fair, and considering that that is one of the large reasons of divorce, that she should have more responsibility in it. After I've worked really hard for 4 years to support her and the children and keep a roof over our heads. I do accept the paying that for the mortgage and for the car. I do think, though, that it is not quite fair to totally kick me out and, not have any other place set up or have any plans or money to put towards a new living situation. So I think I'm not comfortable with agreeing to that yet.
Well, to counter that, she also told me that she would like to offer, if it was necessary, and since you are adamant about your feelings about it, she said that she's willing to pay half of all of your living expenses for this new place that you're going to have. And she also said that she really wants you to feel comfortable with her taking care of the kids as well after her parents have stepped back out of the picture a bit. So when you do have the kids every weekend, she'll be at the local community college getting her teaching certification again.
Okay.
Yeah, and she said that she would have that done within a year.
Okay. I'm glad. She needs to learn how to support herself and take care of herself without my money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can bring her back in here and we can talk about next steps from here.
Okay.
First off, I just want to thank both of you for being so willing to negotiate and being respectful of each other and the decisions that we've come to here today. The final agreement that we've drafted is that Lois will have her parents pay for the mortgage on the house and for the car. So none of that debt will be in your name anymore, Larry. And she'll also keep the house and the car because they'll be under her name. And you will have a new apartment or home, but she will help pay for half of that. And she'll be taking weekend classes. You have the kids every weekend from here on out to get her teaching degree within a year. And that's the agreement we've come to. Is there any other final comments you guys have to make?
I guess I don't Larry, but I love our kids and I know that you love our kids, and I'd really just like this to be about giving them a good, stable future. And I think that you are a good father. So I wanted to.
Our kids are the most important thing to me as well. So I also echo that I'm glad we were able to work something out for their best interest. I think it's a shame that we had to get to this point, but I'm grateful that we can do it in this peaceful negotiating manner.
And I just want to let both of you know that if in the future anything comes up that doesn't seem to fit this plan that we've made, like an extra circumstance or something that happens, my office is open, and since I've worked with you guys before, I would love to help you through another conflict later. And yeah, if you just sign here, and we'll be done.